Yo, what's going on everyone? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another Steam 2 video. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a build for the Titan that's been kind of taking over the game and destroying grandmasters. I've seen so many builds like come and go, but this is a timeless build that all of a sudden has exploded in popularity thanks to some of the new mods, thanks to some of the new weapons, and also some of the brand new changes that made this thing basically be the best version of this build that there has ever been. This build is gonna make you unkillable, and I know a lot of builds say that, but this one legit just makes you super hard to kill. You basically are just gonna be tanking so much damage, and are able to use walk in the middle of like groups of enemies in the GM, and you stay alive like you were not even shooting at you. And on top of that, we're still gonna be taking advantage of bolt charge, like the Titans like to use, and spamming our supers whenever we run into some big enemies. So this is a fantastic build, and I can definitely see why it's taking over. But the most surprising thing about this build is just how controversial it is. And that's the main reason why I kinda want to take a look at this build today. I don't think I've ever seen a singular build get as much hate as I've seen people have for this. And I just don't understand. Because it is a very good build, and if you're new to the GM or something like that, then this is a fantastic build to get started and get some pretty easy clears. But people just hate it for whatever reason. The build that we're going to be taking a look at today is the Bolt Charge Stronghold build. And if you guys have not seen this, this is one that's been popularized recently by Rekakis. And with some of the new things that we got this episode, as well as with some buffs, this thing is pretty much the best version of this build there has ever been. Now the Sword plus Stronghold combo, it's not really anything new, but what's new, it's all the things that are working together to not only make you unkillable, but also giving you some crazy ad clear, all while just standing there holding your sword. It is pretty crazy and pretty absurd, but it's just some good old build crafting that makes it happen and makes it work. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you do, remember to like and subscribe to the channel in case you guys haven't already. I will also link Kakis' original video in the comments below. So now let's get into it and let's take a look at how this build actually works. Now we gotta break this build down into two different parts. The defensive, which makes you unkillable, and also the offensive, which is all the things that are also gonna be helping you all while being unkillable. And let's start with the defensive part, since that's like the simplest part of the build, and it's literally just the strongholds. This and the sword give you some crazy survivability. The exotic gauntlets are gonna max out the guard stat on any of the swords that you equip it with, and that will essentially give you unlimited guard. No matter how long you hold it, it will never drop. You will always be able to block when you have these gauntlets on. You also take reduced damage when you block with swords, and lastly, rapidly damaging targets after blocking with the sword will also give you restoration. So we're going to be able to hold our guard indefinitely with reduced damage whenever we have our guard up, meaning that we can use tank pretty much everything. And on top of everything, we're also going to be healing with restoration. It's crazy the amount of survivability we have when guarding with a sword. I'm telling you, you can pretty much just walk in the middle of like full rooms of ads and just tank them all at once. It is ridiculous. The only real way that I see you dying when you have your guard up is if you end up falling off the map or getting pushed off the map. That's pretty much like the only hope they have to actually kill you. Now you want to pair those gauntlets with this sword right here. It's the new seasonal sword, the Abyssal Edge. And the reason that you want this one is because you're going to be able to use the new mods, Power of Ambition. It rolls with flash counter, and it's also a strand sword, so it's going to be able to take advantage of some of the strand mods we have on the artifact to deal some damage while we're guarding. But the thing that really brings it all together is going to be the updated flash counter. Now when we block damage, we're able to emit a blast that disorients targets and also damages them. And this is essentially what's going to be able to pretty much do everything. It's going to proc the bolt charge, it's going to let our unraveling rounds happen, and it's also going to activate our Power of Ambition, which gives us blight rounds that do damage over time to pretty much everything that we hit. And if we hit something with flash counter while we have that, it will also apply the blight rounds. So flash counter is really the only perk that you need here. The second perk doesn't matter at all. You just need to make sure you have one with flash counter. If you guys don't have one of these, you can very easily focus it at the Tome of Want. Just go, pick the weapons, and then pick the sword. Wherever the sword is. Where's the sword? There, right here. You just pick the sword, and you'll be good to go. Now, for whenever you're not in the middle of enemies, and maybe things are just farther away, that's when we're going to have the Le Monarch, and we're going to do the regular Le Monarch Bolt Charge build that pretty much you've seen everyone do. Just sit behind your barrier and spam Le Monarch, which is going to spam Bolt Charge. And that's why I really like this build, that you do have a choice between being in the middle of enemies, kind of like getting everything's attention. But if you're not really in a good position to do that, or things are just really far away, you can use fallback on the good old strat of Level Arc Bolt Charge and do some crazy ad clear and crazy damage. For your super, you're definitely going to want Thunder Crash. This thing is amazing for taking out champions, doing some big damage, and with one of the mods that we have in the artifact, we're going to be doing extra damage every single time we do a Thunder Crash. For the barrier, you definitely want to go with Rally Barricade, so you can get it back faster. And for the grenade, you want to go with the Pulse Grenade. You can throw this very easily when you're blocking, and thanks to one of our aspects, which is Touch of Thunder, is going to last a lot longer. Another aspect is going to be that Storm Sweep, so you can keep getting that Bolt Charge just by standing next to the barrier. For the fragments, you want to go with Ion, so every time you get some kills with Bolt Charge, you make Ionic Traces. Shock, so your arc grenades also jolt targets. And Frequency, so whenever we're amplified, we gain bonus stacks of Bolt Charge from all sources. From just standing behind the barrier, from picking up Ionic Traces, no matter what, we're just going to be getting extra Bolt Charge. And lastly, Resistance will help you stay alive when you're in the middle of all the enemies. This, plus the gauntlets, is what makes you so tanky. Now the last thing we're going to take a look at here is the artifact. You want Limit Break, so your super can have extra damage. Defibrillating Blast, so you can get some Bolt Charge every time you stun some champions. And it gives you a way of healing and also jolting combatants. You definitely also want a Horse Shuttle. This will make it so whenever you damage any unraveled targets, it spawns some Threatlings, and those will help you ad clear. And you can spawn Threatlings while just holding the guard. If you are already unraveling targets, this is going to be an amazing thing that's going to help you ad clear even more. Flashover is a big one. It's going to increase the damage your Bolt Charge does. And you also want to have Dielectric. For whenever you defeat any arc debuff targets, you get some Bolt Charge. And if you boost this one, it becomes even better because you'll get some horsepower and you also get some health. And the last one I would say is a must-have is Unraveling Orbs. For whenever you pick up some orbs, it's going to give our sword Unraveling rounds. And we're going to be able to activate these even when we're blocking. So we'll just start spreading Unraveling to everything around us, which will spawn some Threatlings. And the whole time while this is going on, the Bolt Charge is going to be going off, hitting people just all around the place. It is crazy when you actually get it going, and you see a bunch of Strand and Bolt Charges consistently going off, without you having really done anything. You're just kind of like standing there, but you see all this chaos going on around you. It's amazing. Lastly, for the mods, you want Dynamo, Heavy Ammo Scout, Heavy Ammo Finder. For the gauntlets, I would say Firepower and Grenade Kickstart, so you can get some more grenades out there, and whenever you get some kills, you make some orbs. The orbs are really going to be important, so we can constantly get those unraveling rounds. For the chest piece, we have the normal resistance mods, nothing really special here. For the boots, Recuperation, Insulation, Absolution, some pretty normal mods. And lastly, for the class item, you want Bomber, so you can get some more energy on your grenades every time you drop the barrier. Powerful Attraction, so we can pick up any orbs that are around, activating our Unraveling on the sword. And also Reaper, so we can also get some more orbs if you do get some kills by swinging the sword. You don't want to just stand there and just basically block the whole time. If you can get a couple hits in with the sword, you should definitely go for it. Now, you don't really want to do that all the time. You could wait for like the enemies to be disoriented, since they're going to be constantly getting disoriented with your sword. So you can wait for that and then go for like a melee hit. The more you play with the build, the more comfortable you'll get with it, and the more that you'll know like when it's a good time to actually swing your sword, and when it's a good time to just kind of stand there and just guard. And now let's actually talk about how you want to play with this build, because there is a good way and a bad way to play this build. You basically want to always be in the middle of enemies, and you always want to make sure your barrier is down. Now you can get in there just by blocking with your sword. You pretty much, that's the first thing you want to do. You block, you wait till the middle of enemies, you wait for your flash counter to go off so some of those enemies are disoriented, you drop your barrier, you hold your guard, and then you profit. If you picked up any orbs, they are going to activate their unraveling rounds, which then are going to spawn the Threatlings, while consistently proccing your Bolt Charge. That is essentially like the go-to scenario that you want. You want to be able to pick up an orb if you can, so you can get that unraveling going all over the place. If not, things are a little bit slower, but they can still work out, especially if you're just grabbing all the aggro from all the other enemies, because the teammates just get to shoot the enemies for free, essentially. If nothing's looking at your teammates, they can have an easier time just shooting everything. So where it might seem scary, you definitely want to get just in the middle of the enemies. Get in the middle of them, drop your barrier, and then just profit. Now, if things are a little too far away, or you think that there might be a little bit too many enemies, then you could set up your barrier in back and hit things with a level arc and take advantage of bolt charge. Also remember, if a teammate goes down, you're like the perfect person to go pick them up, since you're essentially unkillable. Now though, after you pick them up, you definitely want to block them, because a lot of things are probably going to be looking at you and shooting at you, so you want to block as much damage from them as you can. Also, if you want to take the aggro from some of the big bosses, on some of the big enemies, that is something you can do as well, and it will help your teammates tremendously. But that's pretty much it. There's an amazing build that you'll have a very hard time dying with, and if you master it, then you'll pretty much never die. If you never played with something like this, it'll definitely take a little bit to get used to it, especially going in areas that you typically wouldn't go to in like high-end content. But trust me, you have so much resilience and use so much survivability that you can do things that nobody else can. And this leads me again to what I talked about in the beginning of the video. I really don't get all the hate for this build. I think this is an amazing build. And I really gotta show respect to Cactus for being one of the first ones to actually see some of this synergy on all these things. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys liked it. I just really wanted to highlight this build because I really like it. I think it's really good. And I just didn't really like all the hate that I've been seeing towards this build. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for stopping by. And give it a try. I'm sure you'll like it. Peace.